they've always been that communication. Many people like to pretend like it's just sudden, but it is never sudden. Okay. In 2020, Trump designated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Okay. That was done. And in 2018, he met with President Buhari, late President Buhari. And by President Buhari's account, this is not Trump saying, it was Buhari saying it, that when he went to go and meet, when he had the meeting with Trump, behind closed doors, the first question that Trump asked him is, why are you killing Christians in Nigeria?
Yeah.
So
that's
keep that. This is not sudden. And in the statement he released why Buhari was visiting, one of the statements Trump made was talking about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. And in 2020, all of that culminated in Nigeria being designated a country of particular concern. In response to Nigeria being designated a country of particular concern, the Buhari administration came out and admitted that what Boko Haram and ISWAP were doing is targeting Christians. They admitted it after Nigeria was designated a country of particular concern. I guess that was their way to kind of appease the United States, to say, okay, you know what, we admit this.
And then Biden took it out.
Yes, and then Biden...
Together with the Houthis. You know what he did in his first day? In office? He removed the Houthis from a terrorist list.
Oh, powerful. That's to show you that he really...
Powerful
guy. So, of course, the first thing he did when he came into office was to reverse Trump's designation. And then the reason that was given was that the conflict in Nigeria was happening due to climate change. That was the reason that he gave. And the terrorists were like, hallelujah. You know, for the first time they said hallelujah. They usually say Allahu Akbar, but when they saw what Biden did, they screamed hallelujah. And then the killing just went on, you know.
That's offensive. They know it's Hebrew.
I know it's Hebrew.
They know hallelujah is Hebrew.
I know it's Hebrew.
You know, of course you know. I'm just kidding.
And so they went, and then the killings continue. And
they should have screamed, Jesus is King.
Yeah, they should have screamed, Christ is King. Like the gripers, you know, Christ is King. Did you notice that some of the people who tweet in Nigeria in like on Twitter under the guise of MAGA, we are from Nigeria? Did you see that stuff?
I mean, they're from everywhere.
After the location stuff was introduced, where people, many of the so-called MAGA groiper Twitter handles, we are from Nigeria. What a wonderful.
So Nigeria, people thought about Nigeria, then they forgot. What do you think? Why do you think Obama cared about Nigeria?
I think many theories, but I felt it was something that just became a trend. You know, back then you had Rihanna posting about it. So, and then you had the first lady doing her thing. And I don't think the first lady is so invested in government as much as her husband. I think she kind of does her thing. I may be wrong. And then her husband has to like, okay, my wife is making this famous. So, and then everybody had to act like they cared. You know, it's one of those things that become a trend for a while, and then everybody forgets. Some people may not know this, but many of those girls that were kidnapped are still in captivity today. And many more have been kidnapped.
Of course they are. It's like the Yazidi, the Yazidis were a trend, and then when the IDF rescued a Yazidi girl that was in Gaza for 10 years as a sex slave, nobody cared.
And then, nobody. Now everything happens in trends, you know. So you know, let's be concerned about the Yazidi girls, and then we find a Yazidi girl in Gaza, and then they're like, no, we don't need to be concerned about the Yazidi girls now. We are talking about free Palestine. So Yazidis, just hold your horses, okay? We've moved on. We've moved on from, we are on to something new now, you know. So there is that. Anyway, so that's why I think, but for Trump recently, I think he's just continuing something that he was doing during his first term, and he was doing that because of the Christian influence in his government. Because many Christians in the United States, many Christians who have positions of power in this current administration, and was also had position of power when Trump was also, you know, during Trump's first term, are concerned about what is happening in Nigeria. You have someone like Senator Ted Cruz, who has not received enough credit because he has been talking about Nigeria for the longest. Like people
but nobody noticed.
yeah, nobody noticed. It's just now that what he's saying is gaining traction, and people are like, "Oh, is this
So I have a theory about it and the
okay?"
Christian thing.
Okay.
But like no, I want to hear you out because it's interesting. And the
Okay.
other thing I kind of want to run by, which I
Mm-hmm.
think it's another theory I've heard. I heard it on a different channel, the Speak Truth channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's true. I see where it's coming from, and I feel that's not exactly the reason. And he
Okay.
said that the reason is that that Elon Musk lost there was like when you give like a charter for lithium in
Mm,
Nigeria, and he
okay.
lost to
Mm.
China or something, and that's why, right? So that was his theory
So
that like because of
that
the
yeah, that's essentially to that argue that theory is called they are here for our natural resources theory. That is stupid.
Mhm.
That is
I
stupid.
agree. I
That is
agree. But I want to hear why do you think it's stupid? Because
I think
I reacted the same way,
I think it is
but
very
it's a very American type of thinking.
it's the kind of thing that Tucker Carlson will be very invested in. I think it is very stupid because first of all, the so-called natural resources that these northern states, these middle beltern states have, are already being exploited by the Chinese. If America wanted our natural resources, they could just ask like normal people, as they've always been asking. When Europe was drilling our oil and taking it to be refined in Europe, all they had to do was just ask for the right amount. Listen, you may not understand this about the Nigerian government, but they are not expensive. Okay, for the right amount, that you can get them to do anything you want them to do. They're not that
Yeah.
expensive. You don't have to go through this maneuver. You don't have to come under the guise of come on. For the right price, you can get them to do anything. Well,
Right.
if they
Same with
want
the
to,
Chinese.
if they claim that they have this huge deposit of lithium, they can give one side to the Chinese, give the other side to the Americans, give one to people from Denmark. You want some? Just give us money and we'll give you access to it. But currently, what is happening with those places that are rich in these minerals is that you have banditry going on in those areas. And as banditry is going on in those areas, the Chinese are there presently right now taking advantage of this, and it is done illegally.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. There are many instances in this country where Chinese nationals are arrested in Nigeria for illegal mining. It happens in the news. It comes in the news every once in a while. This Chinese national has been arrested for illegal mining activities in the country. Why are they arresting them? Because they are doing it and the Nigerian government is not benefiting.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Nigerian government, if you want, I'm just giving you any person who is interested in these natural resources, just approach the Nigerian government. They're not that expensive. Trust me, they are not unreasonable. For the right price, Tinubu will give you anything. Okay, so you
But
don't have
okay.
to go through this ridiculous back door of coming up with this elaborate scheme. That is too far. You are going too far. You understand? You are going too far. These people will do anything.
I agree.
Let me give you an instance of something that happened. As soon as Tinubu became president of Nigeria in 2023, there was a coup
Mm-hmm.
d'etat in Niger. Niger is the neighboring country to the north of Nigeria. Now, in West Africa, there's what we call ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States. And under ECOWAS, you have ECOMOG. ECOMOG is like the military of ECOWAS. ECOWAS is like the EU, and ECOMOG is like a military that comprises of all the member states. And now Niger is part of ECOWAS. And when the coup happened in Niger, the ECOWAS states felt like it was a problem that one of their member states now has a dictator in charge. They didn't want sorry.